Weiss. I'm sorry. There's people got
Triple.
nicknames in the chat. Yeah, people got nicknames in the chats that are other people's real names that are really confusing. So everybody's in the league, shout to y'all. But there's a little bit of controversy. So I've been accused of several things that I would like to, my legal team would like to say are all falsehoods, all fake news, all propaganda.
Right.
So let's address the picks. So
Nasty.
the picks per ESPN were randomized 1 hour before the draft,
Randomized.
and I happened to get the first overall pick. Not gonna lie, I didn't even want the first pick. I was actually
Hang
mocking.
on, hang on. So you got the first pick. What else are you in terms of the draft? Like, do you have any other positions in this league? Any other responsibilities? Anything else? Or are you just a regular
Well,
member of the league?
because other nobody wanted to step up to the plate, I decided to become the commissioner for the second year in a row.
The second year.
Yeah. So,
Unbelievable.
like I said, I'm a busy person. I took it out of my busy schedule to commission this league, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job, a bang up job, as they would like to say. And there was some confusion, a little bit of confusion, but I got the first overall pick. I took Bijan Robinson. I did the thing that I always do, and I take Falcons players, but this year I only took one. I only took one, and I will only roster one Falcon at a time. That was my goal. Lowski, I did not cheat. It was randomized. I don't have that type of bull at ESPN. It was randomized. Please don't slander my good name.
It's kind of crazy, like the commissioner getting the first overall pick. I don't know. That don't sit right with me. That don't. That feels a little fishy.
I mean, the first pick is kind of the worst pick. I'd actually rather have the last pick because there's a lot of pressure at the first pick. So if your first pick goes south, then you look really crazy, right? A lot of the people were mocking Christian McCaffrey first, and I couldn't in good faith do that because he's a little banged up. He is a monster when he's rolling, but he has a propensity to get hurt. I think he turns like he's over 30, right? He's like 32 or something like that. So he's not.
He's like 28.
He's a rough 20. He's a white 28. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So got a lot of miles, a lot of tread, not a lot of tread in the tires, right? So I'm going with the people. A lot of the Falcons fans, a lot of the pundits, they had Bijan Robinson number 2. So if Bijan can live up to his draft hype, all the hype the Falcons fans have for him, all the hype the media has for him, people were calling him or projecting him to be a Damian Tomlinson type player. So me being a Falcons supporter and a very skeptical Falcons supporter of Bijan Robinson, I decided to put my faith in his hands. So either one or two things are going to happen. Either he's going to go crazy and ball out, and I'm going to win this league, or he's going to let me down like the Falcons continue to let me down every year, and I'm probably not going to win this league. So we'll see. I hitched my horse to that wagon, so we'll see if he can pull me. So
I will
also,
say I was going to say for me, having the top pick is usually not the best pick. The best pick is like pick number 5, like right in the middle. That's the best pick.
I think I mocked either 5 or I just mocked like a weird odd number pick. So I'm like, I'm not gonna get the first pick, but I much rather have 10 because at least you kind of get that back to back, and it's kind of you don't have the pressure because everything has already been done for you. Like, hey, I don't have the option to make a quote unquote mistake by taking whoever first or first through 9. So you're kind of left with other people, the leftovers. So and you get that back to back play. Also, there was a request to have kickers and defenses. I'm not
Oh
the
my
biggest fan of
gosh.
kickers, right? I couldn't name more than like one kicker in the league, so I think they're kind of worthless. So I opted not to put them in. I did have the intention of adding them back in because I did add. I think I added defense back in, but um, you know, my team we have a team at this commissioner's office, so we have a lot of young people on the staff, and certain levers weren't maneuvered to ensure that the kicker position was included in this year's festivities. Um, that team member has been reprimanded and it is being retrained, so that next year we don't have this debacle. The draft is final. You know, all payments will be due. By week 4, and
Are
and
we
that's
gonna
that's that's the last we'll speak about this.
are we gonna discuss what the possible punishments are for whoever comes in last place?
All right, so chat. What's going on, chat? I know there's a lot of freaky people to come in this chat via
Oh,
Marcus's
Jesus.
YouTube page.
Oh, no.
So what we do for our league is there's a penalty for last place. So last year the penalty was eating a Meat Mountain sandwich on like recording yourself eating Meat Mountain. So if you don't know what a Meat Mountain is, it's probably the nastiest combination of meat you can think of from Arby's. It's literally every meat that Arby's has on their menu put on between two buns. And if you Google it, I mean, maybe if you were fresh out of prison or maybe if you were stranded on a desert island, it would look appetizing. But what you're gonna get, and you can ask Lowski in the chat, and you can ask Marcus, what you're gonna get is not it's not what you think it is, brother. It is fucking pig slop.
It is
Like
wet, too.
It's gross.
I don't know why it's wet.
A moist ass meaty sandwich.
It's moist. It's moist and it's not heated up. It's like room temperature meat. It's wet. It's so nasty.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, yeah. So let us know what you think the penalty should be for last place. We had a couple ideas. My idea was do a shot to King Quest. Ew, 3 Meat Mountains is sick. Chitlins, I'm not doing that, bro.
I'm gonna die if you do that. Like no one's finishing 3 Meat Mountains. It's not possible.
I mean, my idea was do like a mukbang. Like that's what's popping in the streets, a mukbang. Shout out to Ben Jackson. He says go Colts.
Let's go. That's what I like to hear.
Fuck the Colts.
No.
But, yeah, I'm actually wearing my Falcon shirt today, even though I usually don't support those bums. But shout out to Ben jumping in the chat. Yeah, I was thinking about doing like it should be a mukbang, right? So pretty much last place should have to do a mukbang, and everybody else gets to pick what is on the plate, and they have to eat it on camera live.
My suggestion was just do something safe and non-freaky. Just do, like do a few TikTok dances, maybe go to JCPenney's and do a silly photo shoot. Someone requested a seppuku. It's funny that someone mentioned that because I was like in the midst of watching Shogun, so like that was happening a lot. I was like, I can't believe is someone watching Shogun with me? Did this happen?
Nah, I mean, if you
just to randomly pull that.
If you were if you're tapped into anime, it's not a foreign term.
Oh my god, no, they don't. What?
Yes, yeah.
What anime are they doing that in?
That's where I heard a seppuku from. I think they were joking, but yeah.
That's nasty word. That's absolute nasty word.
Either that or anime Twitter, one of the two. But yeah, one suggestion was to write erotica about the first, second, and third place winners, which is like I didn't think about it, but like if you're a male and the first, second, and third place winners are males.
What do you even do? How does that even go? How does that work?
69 God.
Yes.
Hey man. I've seen those chat. I've seen those freaky books that women be reading. Like it'll be like a picture of a dude with some like tight jeans and like a bunch of abs and muscles with like a rose in his mouth or something like that. Like those books look safe. Like you may think they're reading about like, I don't know, damsels in distress, but just flip through any random page of one of those books and just read it out loud. It's
nasty business.
I don't even want to like repeat some of the stuff I've seen in these books. Like it's women's or the authors of these books are very descriptive and very creative. I will say that. Another idea was the Waffle House thing, which Rev.
I kind of like that idea.
Like that's just not. It's not very plausible, right? I'm not going to be able to explain why I'm driving 4 hours to Waffle House, is sitting there for 24 hours. That's not I have a
Hey, don't come in last. Simple as that. As long as you don't come in last. For people that don't know, the Waffle House is you have to stay in a Waffle House for 24 hours, and every time you eat a waffle, you take an hour off of your time. So there were a lot of complaints about, oh, well, I don't want to drive 4 hours to Waffle House, or I don't feel safe at Waffle House. Well, don't come in last. You won't have to worry about it. Here's my thing. My thing is, at some point, I don't know if there needs to be a deadline, but I think at some point we all need to either come to an agreement on what the punishment should be, or we leave it up to, Instagram, social media votes, and leave our fate up to their hands. And I don't think they're gonna pick the best thing for us, the thing that's in our best interest. The Waffle House thing isn't too bad for me, but the seppuku, that could be a problem for my family.
Not if you have life insurance.
Yeah, that's true. That could be problematic. I think the erotica thing is going to be hard because, like you said, if
it's not that. Don't get last. Hey man,
if the people in the first three places are all men, how many different ways can I describe the word pussy? How do I keep describing that? With what? They did what else did they do? Hey, we was in there hanging out.
I mean, you have to look for inspiration. You have to do some research, maybe view some erotic film. I don't know. Gotta put in the work.
Hey, get on that.
But let us know what y'all think. Get on that. Get on the dark web for that search history. But yeah, let us know what y'all think the punishment should be. But with fantasy football, I mean, it's that the NFL regular season is around the corner. This is the first time in a while I've been excited as a supporter of the Atlanta Falcons. That I think that we should be decent. And I say that because there's so many unknowns, right? A lot of our potential is weighing on the shoulders of a man who tore his Achilles last year, and Kirk Cousins, and a guy in Kirk Cousins who has a record of being notoriously bad in primetime, which we have quite a few primetime games. And we have a first-year offensive coordinator, first-year head coach, first-year defensive coordinator. And there's a lot riding on three players that were drafted in the top 10 in the last three drafts to play up to their potential, which is Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson. So there's a lot kind of riding on the shoulders of these three people. We have a bit of a trio on this squad, but it's really a matter if they can show up and show out, and the coaching staff can put them in the best positions to succeed. For me, for this team, in particular this year, there's a lot of narratives, especially with week one playing the Steelers, which their offensive coordinator is our former head coach and offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. Mike Tomlin was our coach, Raheem Morris was a defensive backs coach with Mike Tomlin a bunch of years back. Justin Fields is a backup quarterback for the Steelers, backup quarterback who Arthur Smith could have drafted back when he was hired, which may or may not have saved this job. It's looking like it might not have saved this job. But I think based on how he ran his offense, it would have. So now he has a guy that Mike Tomlin is already saying there's going to be like Justin Fields packages. But Arthur Smith clearly didn't want to draft this guy. So it's like now I am kind of forced to work with him or use him. There's just a lot of layers going on with this team. You have Russell Wilson, who some Falcons fans wanted us to take because he was going to be playing on the veterans minimum. So it'll be an interesting game just for the narratives of anything. But I would love to see what this offense would look like when you have a competent play caller, which Arthur Smith was not. So, yeah, that's kind of my biggest thing. Like, even if we lose, as long as I see that there's a way forward, like, hey, Drake London's actually getting the ball. Oh, look, Bijan Robinson's getting the ball. Oh, look, we're finding ways to use the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. Wow, look, these guys are actually doing things. We can work with this. But if it's more of the same, then yeah, go ahead and check me out.
I'm sure you've looked at it, but do you know the Vegas odds for like win totals, like the over under? If I had to guess, I think I saw, if I had to place a number, I put 9.5. I would take the over on that, honestly. I know this isn't the Falcons podcast, but I do have the Falcons being the 1 seed in the NFC, like number one overall seed. They have 4. They play the Panthers twice. They play the Saints twice. That's 4 wins right there in my book. Though, like those teams are not good, and they play in a dome. They have, if anything, they have average quarterback play, and that's really all they need. Like a lot of people kind of talked about how bad the defense was last year, and I'm like, well, when you got Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke back there not doing anything and not moving the ball, of course your defense can only do so much. But that defense is really good, and they've added who they add. They added a dude from New England. They added a guy like Simmons or something.
Justin Udon. Udon from, I forgot his first name, from the Patriots, who's coming off an injury-riddled season. But the season before that, he had like 12 and a half sacks. Justin Simmons, safety from the Broncos. So we have the 2 best safeties in the league pretty much. We actually have a pass rusher now. And we have a couple of guys last year. AJ Terrell just signed an extension. He's coming off Achilles injury though, so that's a little bit tough. But I mean, on paper, we look like we have a decent team. And it's interesting and ironic when you brought up Desmond Ridder that some people were falling on the sword that he is an NFL caliber quarterback and he was good and all this shit.
It was Arthur Smith.
Meanwhile, shout out to Arthur Smith. Desmond Ridder was released from the Cardinals as their back quarterback. So Twitter had a field day with that one, as for whatever reason. And I get it, but so last year, Desmond Ridder decided to have a campaign with a company called DoorDash, where he was dashing people their food. And I just feel like you got to have the force. Like, that's something that like Patrick Mahomes can do, because Patrick Mahomes is him, right? You can't be a borderline NFL starter or even NFL quarterback out here doing DoorDash commercials, because the first time you have a bad game, guess what the timeline's going to be retweeting for the next 8 hours straight? DoorDash Riddler. So that's kind of where we're at. They was frying him up, something crazy on the timeline, but you did this to yourself. And then we did trade Taylor Heineke to the Chargers for a 6th-round pick. So both those bums are off our team.
Yeah,
so I think right now it's just Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think I was just a year early on the Falcons. I had the Falcons going to the playoffs last year. I just didn't think Desmond Ridder would be that bad.
I mean, they should have. He was horrible. Like, that's absurd. Like, so we'll see. We'll see what Arthur Smith does with Russell Wilson, the washed shell of himself. So my only worries is that he does have Cordell Patterson and running back
Cordell Patterson's over there now.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he's just like collecting. Yeah, he got Cordell Patterson. Yeah, he's doing the thing. And shout out to Cordell Patterson. Like I said, like Arthur Smith literally owes him his career as a. If it weren't for Cordell Patterson, Arthur Smith could have got fired his first year because he wasn't doing shit with nobody else. So.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I think Cordell Patterson scored a long touchdown in the preseason. Now that I think about it. So,
well, he should.
They got a nice little 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Did you have any hot takes for the season? I know mine that I feel pretty good about. I have the outside of the Falcons being the 1 seed, I have the Packers going to the Super Bowl this year. That's my hot take going into the season. And the only reason I have that, it's not all the time that a wild card team makes the Super Bowl, but I just feel like the Packers have the kind of offense and the kind of play style that works better in a dome, and all of the good teams in the NFC play in a dome. Like they can beat the Falcons, they can beat the Niners, they can beat the Lions, they can beat who else is in the Lions, Falcons, the Vikings, Lions, Falcons, the Buccaneers, Niners, like they all play in either good weather or in a dome, and the Packers fare well in a dome. So I could see them pretty much following the same blueprint that they did when they won a Super Bowl with the with Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers had to kind of go through a dome to finally get to the Super Bowl. All right, King Quest, that's hate. That's pure hate.
Yeah.
Absolute
I mean, I
hate.
don't have a hot take, but I feel like if we can, I don't know. I feel like if we can run the ball, we can rush for 100 yards per game. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll fare well with Bijan Robinson, Tyler
As a
Algier.
team? As a team?
Consistently,
That's not a lot.
yes.
Yeah,
Consistently.
that should be a given 100 yards a game with Algier back there too. Nah, that should be
Well, I gotta
standard.
figure. Well, I'll work on my hot take, but I actually have no hot take. I do want Xavier Worthy to win Rookie of the Year because I bet money on him. So that's about it. But we'll see how that plays out. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so sticking on football, did you see the whole flag football Olympic controversy debacle? So if you don't know what we're talking about, I guess the Olympics is gonna have flag football next year. But I guess there's like already like a national team. Like, so flag football is actually pretty big in a lot of places, like bigger than you would think. Like, people actually have practices and plays. They've been on teams for years. It's a really big thing in some places. And those guys are, quote unquote athletes that have pride. And I guess the champion guy, flag football dude, thinks that NFL players shouldn't automatically be starters for these teams. And I'm like, I can see his point. And people were showing clips of him throwing the ball, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Like, Chad Ochocinco was like, yeah, I think they would fare well or fare better against NFL players because it's a different type of it's football, but there's like games within the game, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of little intricacies with flag football that I don't think NFL players might be able to adapt to, right? I don't think you could be as aggressive in flag football as you can be in regular football. And I can see an argument. What I would like to see is like a competition, like, hey, make it a tryout. I don't think NFL players should just get it clean, if that makes sense. Maybe not at quarterback. Other positions, yeah, dog. Like, if I don't know, the third string wide receiver on the Falcons wants to play, he's probably gonna get your spot, bro. Sorry, but I don't know. I just like to see how it shakes out. So
I think the guy had a good point. I don't think he said it right. I think the fact that he said he had a smarter IQ than Patrick Mahomes, like you can't go about it saying like that. Like, if you want to explain how flag football is different from the NFL, because I saw a clip and the field dimensions are not the same. Like, the way that they avoid getting their flags ripped are different than what you do in the NFL, as far as like dipping your hips and sliding on your knees, stuff like that. It's the same game, but it's a little bit different, and they've probably mastered those aspects of the game that regular football players haven't done. And I think if he would have explained it that way, I don't think people would have like kicked his back in as bad as they did. But it's just the fact that he was like, oh, well, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a great NFL quarterback, but he doesn't have the IQ that I have to play flag football. It just doesn't come out right.
actually, I'm gonna walk back my take. Get them bums out of here. Like, I'm thinking about, the intricacies, dog. Okay, so if Tyreek Hill wants to come out there and play receiver, it's not gonna matter about no flags. You're not gonna touch him.
Yeah, he's
Like,
out
I'm
here.
running flies. I'm running verticals every play.
4 verts. Cover him. Dare you.
Like, there's nothing you can do. So
Put DK Metcalf out there and throw fades all day.
Sorry, dog. You could
I
probably have.
I get you've been grinding out here, but that's DK Metcalf. Sorry, bro. Hit the bench. You can be a practice player over here.
And that's like I said, there's probably practice squad players that can win Olympic gold in flag football. You don't have to send like the best over there. Just send a couple guys. Like, there's probably guys that aren't in the league that could go win a flag football tournament, to be honest, in the Olympics. Like, sorry, guy, go ahead and Go ahead and log into your Xbox Live account and play a little bit of Madden and live your dreams out there, buddy. So it's a rap ski for that.
Be an OC or something.
Yeah, or just quit. Go get a job. Go be a family man or woman. Like just go do something else. Go do something else. Or you could be a scammer, like these Chase people. I don't know if you saw that, but and you know what? I hate that it has to be like this. I hate that it. Do I have a drop?
My God.
Why have to be the African American community falling for these scams? Like, so let me see. What is being called is the Chase money glitch. And I was here for keeping TikTok around, but for stuff like this, TikTok needs to be banned, right? Because I guess this went crazy on TikTok, and they're calling it like a glitch, like this is Grand Theft Auto, like you could put in a cheat code, and free money is gonna spam into your account. Like that's not how the world works.
It's never worked like that. People, never ever.
I don't know what these people were thinking. And there's a video that TikToker made, and of course there's some New Yorkers, the scamming capital of the world. And clearly people zoomed in on the money, and the money they had was fake money. Like wasn't real. Like they made a whole video, they're driving down the street, hanging out the window, throwing money, acting crazy, got the Chase card in their mouth. But people actually believe this stuff. And this is kind of ties into the Keith Lee effect a little bit, or when people gain so much influence and so much of a following that dumb people will follow and listen to what you have to say, because they were of like how cash-strapped Americans are, or just people are for money. They're like, damn, I'm really finna risk like my bank account being locked or me cashing a check cashing fraud charge to try a money glitch at Chase Bank.
A nasty charge, man. Nasty.
They said that shit is called bank fraud or check fraud. It's no glitch. It is fraud. It is a crime. You will go to jail. They will freeze your account. They will take all the money you have in your account. Like, we have to do better. We can't keep living like this.
You don't see everybody doing it. It's just a certain group of people that tend to fall for these things every time. It's like, come on, bro. Like, I seen one guy who was like, he did a TikTok and showed his bank account. He was like 40 G's in a hole. I was like, God damn, bro. I don't know how he gonna get out of that one, but that man is cooked. That man is absolutely cooked. I mean,
I guess if you didn't spend the money, just like put it back, I guess, or redeposit. I don't know. I think some of those people on there just lying for content, but I think some people legitimately would like fuck themselves over. But
it's a bad look. It's so bad. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I want to say, yeah.
Long time no see. Shout to you. People are dumb.
Yes. It's awful.
Yeah, it don't make a lick of sense to be doing shit like that. But I mean, shout out to the people who went viral, because they probably made some actual real money on TikTok from y'all stupid asses going to Chase to try to get some money from the money glitch. So it's unfortunate, but like, there's really no such thing as free money. That's just not how. Well, PPP loans.
Yeah,
PPP loans is kind of free money. Some people got that off, but for the most part, there's no such thing as free money. You're probably gonna end up paying that back, or they're gonna end up taking it. So one of the two.
They're gonna take that thing right back out of your account, and it's gonna be negative, whatever it is that you took. You better, if you do that glitch, you better take that money out immediately and close that account or something. But God,
yeah, well, I think they weren't catching it at first, but they started putting like a 7-day hold on people's accounts after a little while. So maybe like the first person got away with it, but
that's all it takes. Yeah. That's all it takes to sell the scam. You just need one person to get away with it.
But also too with that, it's like I don't the whole social media, internet culture, um, and this even started with the advent of smartphones. Is like people just love telling on themselves, right? If I figured out a way to get free money, I'm not making a TikTok video to tell everybody else how to do it. I'm keeping that shit to myself. Like, why are you giving up the sauce? Like, yo, hey man, I hit a lick. You gotta find yours your own way, buddy. Because as soon as like everybody knows about it, that's when they're gonna shut it down. So it's just always a weird thing to me. Like, this is how to scam Chipotle for extra double meat. Like, bro, now that 8,000 million people know about this, they're gonna close that loop. So, like, I don't know. People are weird, but when you have to pay your rent via TikTok dances, that's kind of how society is kind of going, I guess. But you know, thoughts and
Nasty game right
prayers.
there. Nasty game.
It
Nasty.
was, and just speaking of nasty, I want to slander Carmelo Anthony real quick. Uh,
Yikes.
Nothing career related. Great basketball player. He does a great podcast with the kid Mero. But I saw a video of him. I didn't even watch it. I just watched like I didn't watch the highlights. I watched the caption. And you know, person of myself is in the sneaker culture, which I think the sneaker culture right now is kind of cooked, but that's another conversation for another day. But he's like, yeah, something to the effect that I don't buy my sneakers to sit on the shelf. I wear my sneakers, and I was like, that's rich people privilege, right? Um, Carmelo, everybody is not multimillionaires, so the exclusive mellow Jordans you have, if you go outside and step in a puddle of mud, you can just take them off, throw them into the sky, and then another pair will appear. Another pair will spawn on your foot because Carmelo Anthony and you had a storied NBA career and you're rich. If
he was
I
also
take my
he was a Jordan brand athlete.
yes,
It's right
if
there.
I take whatever if I take whatever my favorite pair of shoes are and wear them, and maybe I don't know, step in a puddle of mud for some reason, and my shoes are destroyed, guess what? I don't have the resources to go buy another pair, right?
So
So
it's a
some of
wrap.
us aren't fortunate enough to just be able to just wear our shoes all the time. Now, could I be better wearing my shoes? Yes, I have gotten to a point now where I'm like, damn, I didn't even know I had these shoes in here. So I could do better, but for the most part, I think some of the people don't wear their shoes because again, they can't afford to mess them up, or they want to hold on to them long enough where Jordan re-releases and they can try to get a second pair, which I think is a problem. Jordan's kind of going crazy with the re-releases, not being creative, releasing the same sneakers seemingly every other year, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, we're broke. I can't afford to wear my sneakers. That's the bottom line. Carmelo.
Is that true? Is it a thing? I think I heard that somewhere else where they're saying that the the brand of Jordans, like the new shoes, people aren't buying new shoes from Jordan, and it's all the
Yeah,
retro stuff that people are looking for. Like, how is that? I don't understand how that. I would have. I guess maybe back in like 2001, if you were to tell me like, hey man, in about 20 years, Jordans are going to be hard to be sold because people don't want the new ones. They just want the old ones. Like, I don't understand how that's you're the number one shoe name brands out there. How are you struggling to sell your new stuff? How do you not have the resources or the creative minds to go out there and make something that people would want to wear?
I'd say it's laziness. I mean, so I saw a TikTok where I guess now the youth are into Asics. I'm like, what? Like that's mind
They wear
boggling.
a lot of Under Armour shoes. The Steph Curry's kids love the Under Armours. If you'd have
Yeah,
told me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have bought that. I'm like, ain't no way kids out here wearing Under Armour, but they are.
well, the thing is with the Jordan retros, they tend to like make weird colorways. Like, just give us the basic shit. Like they'll remix like the 13s with just like the most random colorways that nobody wants. Like it used to be kind of like music dropping. Like I used to be excited almost every weekend or every other weekend for a Jordan that's going to release or drop and trying to get in line on my phone or online to get them. And now I don't even care. I don't even check no more because there's just a bunch of bullshit that's coming out. Like there's a pair that they released. They're called the Olympic Sixes, and I know when they came out probably over a decade ago. Them shits like were hot. Come on, they sold out like immediately. I go on the sneaker app right now. Them shits are still sitting there in all sizes. But let some Jordan 1 come out, which again, 15 years ago, if you told me that people would actually like Jordan 1s the most, I'd be like, you're crazy. Some shoes are very basic and they're uncomfortable. But again, everybody loves Jordan 1s now, and I can't do it. Cannot do it. So it's just weird. I guess just things change, people change. But I think the people that are the OGs, the people that are really about the culture, I think that they'll continue to find like diamonds in the rough because they'll put out some cool shoes. Like there's a lot of cool women's shoes that have good colorways that come out that are slept on, and you can usually get them pretty cheap. So it's just one of those things. Like time will tell. Like in the future, when you know bust out your collection, a lot of people will miss stuff that's slept on because a lot of people will just get on the whole sneaker wave. It's like hype beats, like oh yeah, I want to do this for the look or whatever, but you can't tell me in 10 years somebody's like, oh yeah, I bought these Asics and I held them, I kept them on ice. Like, get the fuck out of here. Nobody rocks with Asics. Now, New Balance has some heat, but Asics, I can't subscribe to that. I can't support that at all.
Adidas is good too. Adidas
Yeah,
a lot. I just think the competition between shoe companies, like the gap is closing. Like it used to just kind of be like Jordans were just like far and above and away from everybody, but like I feel like Adidas has caught up, Reebok's caught up, Under Armour obviously catching up, but yeah, it almost feels like Jordans, like that entire branch is just focused on putting all their resources into just re-releasing all their old stuff and just stop trying to create the new stuff. Like people don't want it. They don't want the new shoes. They don't want anything. They want the stuff that Michael Jordan was playing in, and they don't. Well, I don't even think they realize that those are the shoes that they want. But it seems like the shoes that they want are the shoes that were popular when Michael Jordan was playing.
Yeah, I'm on Sneakers app right now. There's a pair of threes. They're called Cement Grays. And the 3 is a cool shoe, but the colorway they put out it's dog shit. Every size is available. every single size is available. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, if they just say, and hypothetically, if Jordan Brand just decides, hey, we're shutting down our shoe department as far as like the new stuff. We're no longer doing that. We're just going to focus on re-releasing all the old stuff. We'll add a few new colors here and there, but for the most part, we're going to just release all the retro Jordans. Does that affect the resale market as far as the people that go out there, you know, and buy 5 pairs and try to hold them and sell them for, you know, 200% extra? Does it have that kind of effect out there? If those shoes are just more readily available, are resellers then kind of being put out of business?
Yeah, the resale game has been cooked. With the advent and the wide uses of bots, like that ship has sailed, and I think that might have low key shifted the sneaker culture to stuff that's more readily accessible, right? Because if I know every week I'm not going to be able to get the Jordans that I want, then I'm gonna move on to something I can get, which was probably Jordan 1s because nobody wore them shits, and there's plenty of sizes, plenty of colorways available, so there might be some correlation there. But yeah, I mean, I hope it kills resale games. That's just fucking annoying. Like to go on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok and see some like young Caucasian male with an entire room filled with shoeboxes. Like I don't even know how that's possible to do that. Like I hate to put this on our young.
I was gonna say there was one story where a young kid, his mom was like a higher up at a shoe company.
Yeah, she was nice.
Used her company card and just got everything, like 5 pairs of everything. I'm like, how the fuck? And I don't think anything happened to him.
I can't remember what happened. I think his mom might have got in trouble or something like that. But yeah, it just takes the fun out of the people that really want to get these shoes or have collections, want to wear them. Because again, everything has become like Everything is for sale. Everything is commodity. Everything has to have a profit made off of it. And some people just do it for the love of the game. But yeah, the resale game is cooked. There's really no money in that anymore, in my opinion. What I think Nike or slash Jordan brand should do is I think they should just start releasing Jordans for like 2 years and just see what happens,
You
and then
said
come
stop.
back and then, yeah, start making them.
Just all together, just don't make Jordans at all for 2 years.
Let's take a break. Let people, and actually, if they, that's where that would actually help kind of the resellers and the people that actually like Jordans, because like, well, shit, now we kind of have more anticipation. Like they're already showing the lineup for like next year's Jordan release, and outside of a couple pairs they already put out a couple years ago, like the whole fucking lineup is trash. Like it's garbage. It's butt cheeks. I'm interested in like maybe 2 out of 16 pairs. I think I already had the 2 that I'm interested in. So I really don't care about any of the shoes. Now, what they need to do, like you said, re-release the original colorways that Jordan played in. Like I don't need the freaky neon green and black threes. I don't need the freaky reverse bread third. You know what I'm saying? Just give me the regular shit. Give me the normal shit. So yeah, it's a lot of doing too much.com for me. But that's my whole little sneaker rant. So save me a lot of money, I'll say that. But
Taking a break is hard for these major corporations and companies. It's hard for them to take a break and walk away for especially 2 years. That's a long time. It's a long time.
yeah, and the kind of ties into the Drake, because a lot of people think he should just take a break as well. Music wise, just kind of chill the fuck out. Like, don't need the Lucy's, don't need the
He's
fake
put out so
Instagram
much music.
bravado. Talk about, I haven't listened to any of his new music. I'm not gonna lie. So
Well, the weird thing is that you haven't heard it. It's not that you haven't gone out and listened to it. It's the fact that you haven't really heard it or seen anybody talking about it. It's just I kind of had a theory onto why Drake hasn't gone away. Like I think a lot of people have kind of been on the opinion where after the whole debacle with Kendrick, it's like, you know what, Drake, you should just kind of go away. Let people miss you for a little bit. Let the music industry reset and really lock in the booth and come back with some like super heat. And I feel like the reason that he hasn't taken a break or won't take a break is because he could be a victim of what is happening with Big Sean right now. So Big Sean took 4 years off to drop his album, and it's not bad. I don't think it's getting crushed online, but we had to wait 4 years, and it's like that's it. And it's like you kind of you're more likely to notice the decline when you have to wait like years at a time for something. Whereas if you're constantly putting out music, whether it be songs, albums, features, Lucy's, mixtapes, whatever, it's hard for people to really notice like a decline. Like the decline is happening, but you don't notice it because you're too busy going on to the next song, the next song, the next thing, the next project, the next verse. You didn't even have time to really hear that last project because you're going on to the next project, and you're just flooded with all this music, and you just think it's all like It's like academics will just be like, oh, he's feeding his fan base, and it's like, okay, you're feeding them, but it's like, what are you feeding them? Are you giving them something that's worth it? Because you can look at
slop.
say what you want about, I've had my opinions about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, but you can tell that he went through something and there was some growth in there, and there was a lot of effort and input that went into that album. My example was Schoolboy Q took 4 years between Crash Talk and Blue Lips. You could obviously clearly hear a difference in that. And I think that's what maybe, Cardi B is going through, where it's just like, I could put something else out, but I feel like fans are starting to see the decline in just her features and singles. So now imagine if we can hear the decline in a full project that we've waited 6 years for. That's a pretty big letdown when you consider, like a lot of artists aren't selling the way that they used to, it I can see why someone wouldn't want to take a break. Like Drake is just like, no, I'm just gonna keep putting stuff out and hope nobody notices that I fell off right after Views.
Yeah, I feel like he's doing this because he has to for some strange reason. Because he hinted multiple times he was going to take a break or go on vacation, and he has just been fully present ever since that. I don't know if it's a pride thing. I feel it's probably a pride and ego thing. Like after getting your back kicked in, pretty much for the entire summer, I feel like as a man, he's not going to let his pride just let this roll. But he ain't put out nothing that's really popped yet, and
Nothing.
yeah,
Look,
not
like you're
like I feel like
the biggest artist in the world. You put out a feature with one of the hottest female rappers out. You put out 2 songs with I don't know if she's like a pop star, but she's a star in her own lane. That didn't do anything. You put out a 3-pack. None of those, and those songs were good. I like that. I like the song with Lotto. I like the song with 21 Savage and Young Thug. I like the dance hall record that he did. And then you did another 3-pack, and none of these songs are sticking. No one's like talking about, like, you're the biggest rapper out here. How come none of these songs matter right now? How come none of your projects mattered? How come everything is here and then gone real quick? I don't know if it's a music industry thing or it's a Drake thing, but it's something.
Yeah, I think more people are excited at the prospect of that Kendrick snippet at the beginning of the Not Like Us video being a real song than anything Drake has put out.
That ain't coming. I can tell you that song
Yeah,
is not coming.
But like I've seen more TikToks and Instagram videos with that song and people clamoring for that song off of a snippet versus anything that Drake has put out, which is very shocking. Which again, people think it could be some industry games, like I believe is going on with this Travis Scott situation.
Oh no, it's hate. This is just pure hate.
I don't think it's hate. It's just very strange that like you see that he's battling some other person for the #1 record or #1
Sabrina
Billboard
Carpenter.
#1. Yeah, it's like, oh, mysteriously, all of a sudden, all this old music he's releasing is, oh, this album is 9 times platinum now. Oh, Sicko Mode is 15 times platinum now. Oh, this album. Okay, so we talked about Drake, and again, I'm not the biggest Travis Scott fan, but you mean to tell me the fuck? Did my computer just?
You're frozen, but I can still hear you.
My computer's tweaking out. So you mean to tell me that Travis Scott has an album where every song is certified platinum? He's the only rap artist that's done that. Drake doesn't have that. Kanye West doesn't have that. Future doesn't have that. List any other A-list top tier fan base or rapper with the huge fan base has that. Like off of that album, again, not the biggest fan, but I can't name you more than 2 songs. And to tell me that every song on that album is platinum is insane.
Okay,
insane.
Well, I will say, if you were to ask me to name a rapper that had a project where every song was platinum on it, Travis Scott would be in that conversation. Like he'd be one of the ones I would name. He'd be in the top 5. Like I would go Drake first, maybe Eminem, Cardi B, and then Travis Scott for a project, for an album where all the songs are platinum. Yeah, he'd be mentioned in there. He's got a massive audience and a massive fan base. I kind of understand how he does it because I've seen I've seen videos of his live shows, and obviously he has the Kardashian stimulus package because he was over there for a little bit, and his dad is he was a record executive or something like that. So obviously there is stuff going on behind the scenes with him, but for his stuff to be so far and ahead of everybody else's, that's not just someone just pressing a button and being like, okay, we want you to do great. Like, because Why aren't they pushing that button for anybody else in that way, to where it's just such a large gap between what he did and you look at other artists that have dropped, that are big artists that have major brand deals, that are famous, frontward facing, well-known artists, and they're doing next to nothing first week. It's gonna, some of these rappers that drop this year, they might not go gold for the next 2 years with the project they drop right now. And these aren't like, I'm not talking about like Little Sims and Rhapsody and Big Crit. I'm talking about like stars that people know, like rappers that everybody knows about. They're not going to go gold for another 2 years. And that's kind of unheard of.
Okay, well, my thing is that the way that people online with the fan pages and the metrics pages, they frame it as sales. Like, oh, he's sold. Like, you didn't sell anything. A bunch of people streams your music at the same time. I'm looking at a website, Hip Hop DX, and they're saying that he dropped 3 deluxe versions of the same mixtape. Like, that's not, to me, that's that. People, but my problem with this is that people will equate this to this being great music or a great album when it's just numbers that don't exist. It's not real. It's not tangible. Like 400,000 people didn't go get up and physically go purchase that album. And I get it, we're in the streaming era, but
yeah, people ain't doing that no more. People haven't been doing that for almost 10 years.
I get that, but let's not make something like somewhere in the future, somebody's going to see this stat that's never heard Travis Scott's music and think he's makes better music than insert 10 other people that make better music than this guy, just because of the metrics or the stats. And it's just like, it's just not there. It's fucking industry games. It's playing with the numbers. Like, that's cool, but don't put that shit in my face. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't.
He's playing with it in Nicki Minaj. Did I mention Nicki Minaj in my list? Because she would be another person that I could see that happening with. And like I said, I get the whole,
but Nicki's got bangers though.
Farms. And Travis Scott has bangers. See, you don't like Travis Scott though. Travis Scott has some heat. I like now. I will say like
Days to Nicki.
No, I wouldn't say that. But I'm saying. Days Before Rodeo.
You see a better rapper than Nicki?
No.
Give me. I hate to do this. give me the best Travis Scott 16.
His best
doesn't
16.
Exist.
Yeah, he's not really. He's more of a vibe guy.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't put these numbers in my face as if he's this great. Like, cool, you move units, you have people to come to your concerts, but it's not. It's not that.
Guy. Yeah, he's a live performer. Showman kind of guy, like who would be a good example? I don't know. Like, he's in that punk life, rock star lifestyle.
Yeah, but but it falls into rap, and people, like I said, you see those numbers, think he's a better rapper than like a Rhapsody or somebody else. Like, it's just not there.
I don't know fans. I don't know if people say. I don't know if they're
go to any one of these Travis. Go to any one of these Travis Scott.
They think he's They think he's one of the best rappers. Like, if anybody was doing a list of like the top, 20 rappers under, he's not under 30. If they were to do the top 20 rappers under 40, is he making that list?
You'd be surprised.
Top 20? How old is
these are the same people that like Playboi Carti, and I don't get the Playboi Carti thing. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't either.
But I'm saying that it's in the same wheelhouse. That's why I'm just like, all right, guys, what are we doing?
Okay, he's 33.
Not my demo, but don't put these numbers in my face like I am to be impressed by this. Like,
the numbers are impressive though. They are impressive. Like, no one's doing these kinds of numbers. Like, and like I said, I know I'm not equating numbers with talent. I don't think anybody that actually like cares about actually listening to music is looking, because like nobody, no, like I love Back for the First Time by Ludacris. I can't tell you how many, if that went platinum in a week, or how many it sold first week, or, and like I don't know how many times platinum that album went, but I love it. It sounds great. Like I don't know, like I get the whole numbers thing, but I just, and I know there's some other things going on with it, but the numbers are still, numbers are impressive, because he's like, there's not a lot of people that are doing those kinds of numbers, and it's like they're not even in the same ballpark. Like, and maybe just his team is that much better than everybody else's, that no one else can
Drake
do.
is the biggest artist in the world, from what everybody tells me all the time when they mention Drake. He has reach, he has different styles. He clearly borrows styles from other countries. Definitely kind of dick rides with the artists to keep himself relevant. And he can't do that. Like it, you see what I'm saying? Like that's in my head. It's like I don't see how that's possible. Especially how Drake fans, how the Aubrey's Angels give it up. I just don't see how Travis Scott has this, but Drake doesn't. That's in my head where I was like, all right, this something is a little bit off with this, right? Even like I'm pretty sure at some point Drake put So Far Gone on DSPs, a mixtape, and that is a superior mixtape than Days Before the Rodeo. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close.
I don't know about
Not even
superior. I don't know about superior. But I'm not a big. I'm not big on that first mixtape though. That's just, it's okay. It's just not. I'm not super huge on that one. I don't know.
I'm just saying it didn't do those type of numbers for the clearly the bigger. It's just numbers to me.
Well, I should have looked it up, but they said this is the first time, like I guess with the 3-pack that Drake has put out, they're saying like this is the first time he's ever put out anything that didn't do 1 million streams like first week. Like none of those 3 songs did 1 million streams or something like that. Something crazy. And it's just like, it's easy to just look at Drake and be like, oh, it's because Kendrick beat him in a battle, but it's like he's still Drake. He's still one of the biggest acts. You should still be able to. Your fans should still be able to be streaming your stuff. Like there's still a large army of Drake stands that still kind of fight for his honor and like push the idea that the battle was closer than what it actually was. So the fact that those people aren't even listening to your new music like that, that seems a little bit weird. It seems fishy to me, and it's almost like, how real are your actual fans? Are they actual real people? So
yeah, and shout out to Elliot Wilson. His podcast is pretty good. Part of his criteria is like numbers, like ticket sales from concerts. I just don't really like the criteria with numbers, because in this day and age, and I get it. I know Joe Budden mentioned like even back in the day, numbers could be manipulated, but I feel like they can be more manipulated these days, if that makes sense. So I would like to stay away from the numbers conversation. Like for me, numbers, I don't really care. Like, is your music good or not?
I think it matters as far as like if it's like a really close battle, like if it's tight knit, like if you're comparing, if you're trying to decide between T.I. and Ludacris, like if you're doing an all-time rapper list, T.I. and Ludacris are pretty much like in the same vicinity. They both have Grammys, they both have classics, they both have, been great feature artists. They've had great features on their projects. They've been in battles, whatever. You could use that metric of album sales to be like, all right, well, this is what's going to push him over the top. But I'm not going to use album sales as far as like, it's not going to be that much. It's not going to be that big of a pie to determine how great you are as an artist. Because for me, I think I'm trying to think of an example, like someone like Eminem and Lil Wayne on my list are fairly close together. Eminem kills Lil Wayne in album sales, but I have Lil Wayne a little bit higher because I think influence and impact matter more than album sales, and Lil Wayne has more influence and impact, in my opinion, culturally than what Eminem has had, even though he's had way more in album sales.
That makes sense. You saw that the tweet King Quest sent?
And what?
Yeah,
Why did they?
They've released all. There's a
I mean, some of these are cool, but
there's only one, two. I might be off. 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 of these are original colorways. But like the baby blue, those shits are ugly as fuck.
These are
the white and
this
gold.
is.
I think those are the OV. Those look like the OVO 12s. Those are the 12s.
Yeah, these are more bad than good. Like just off of first look, this is bad. Like I would say this is bad. Not even like trying to just dissect all the colors and how it looks. Like this is bad. That's bad. No, I don't like that at all.
Cherries are nice. Those were hot commodity, but 1, 2, I got like 4 of these. And again, the ones that I want, I already have. So like I feel like some of these just came out. So, but I mean, I guess it's cool for the people that couldn't get them. Like that's the only, I guess, positive part. Is like, hey, if you missed out on them, then you can kind of snatch them up again. But it's just kind of like, well, all right, can we do something different, please? But yeah, I think we hit everything. I kind of want to hold off on the 2024 slang until we get somebody of that era here, because I was blown away by the new slang that's out here. For y'all that don't know, there's a lot of new slang terminology. The one that stood out to me the most was gooning and edging.
Oh no!
And I was very perplexed. And then there's like another level to gooning called flicker gooning.
Jesus Christ!
It's wicked out.
So disgusting. So disgusting.
This is I think what they call the internet brain rot. It's just nonsensical, just mindlessness. Because like you'll see this shit, then you'll go down like rabbit holes trying to like figure it out, but it's not to be figured out. It's just fucking nonsense. It's like Russia distracting us from important stuff.
Leave it alone. It ain't worth it.
But it's hilarious though. Like flicker gooning, bro. Like what are we doing? What are we doing?
That's sick. That's nasty business. Absolute nasty business.
This whole like YouTube video definitions and like I'm like, fam, it makes my head hurt. But you know, things are a changing out here in these streets. So, but yeah, that I don't even know how to end this. I feel like I haven't potted my my pod endurance is down. I got to get my reps back up. But damn, yeah, I think that was it. Oh, I jumped back on the One Piece train.
Oh God.
So I thought about you when I was watching it, and I did think about this because look, the whole filler thing. One Piece actually doesn't have a lot of filler, but there is like 1,000 episodes. I think it said it only had like 8% filler, but I was watching it, and if I think I'm watching the filler, I'll check the list. But what I do now is I have the Shonen Jump app, which is pretty much the app that kind of shows you all the mangas that are available, the new ones, old ones. So I'm like, well, shit. Let me just go to the One Piece manga and see if this is actually a part of the story. And what I found out is, and somebody told me this before, it's actually quicker to read it than watch it. So if there's an episode that I kind of like, all right, if this is a backstory episode, I'm just gonna read that shit and then go to the next episode. I'm cool because I just got through one part. It's like a 3-part backstory, so that's like an hour, but I could read it in like 5 minutes to get to like the story progressing part. But it's actually interesting because there's some parts in the manga that the anime changes, which is kind of typical. But some of the stuff in here is just kind of like weird. Like I think it's so I watched going down a rabbit hole on YouTube. Pretty much the idea with anime or with the manga is to make money, right? And again, the good ones last a long time. Like One Piece has been going for like 20 years, so you're making money off the manga, the anime, merch, all that stuff. So I think what happened was like with the manga, when they make it an anime, they'll try to stretch it out. So they'll try to add stuff in there to kind of bridge the story or just make it a little bit longer. I think that's where filler comes from, just to kind of keep it going. Or sometimes they'll do filler when they're behind on the manga, when they don't have enough source material, kind of like with Game of Thrones. But when you have live actors, you can't just wait forever. Like with the manga, you can. Like, hey, the Arthur's going on hiatus. All right, we'll just make up a bunch of episodes that don't count or don't matter. And then when he comes back, like Hunter x Hunter has been on hiatus for shit. Probably like a decade. No, not a decade. It's been on hiatus for years. And the writer's like, I'm back. So start it back up. So fuck it. We back. So but yeah, I get how people like One Piece. I think it's a fairly safe anime. Like there's not a lot of weird freaky shit going on. Not a lot of fan service. Characters are pretty safe, easy to gravitate to. Like the main character is like the father of all like the anime protagonists. Like everybody is kind of derived from the main character Luffy. So which is interesting because you'll see like, okay, I get how they like you'll see bits and pieces of like Goku or Naruto, even though they're kind of I think Dragon Ball Z came out after Naruto. I'm sorry, after One Piece. But you can see the influence that One Piece has across like all the animes. Naruto, Black Clover, Hunter x Hunter is a little bit different. But any anime that has a protagonist that wants to be the thing, it came from One Piece. So, but yeah, read One Piece, watch One Piece. I think I'm on episode 264 now. So it's starting to pick up. Starting to pick up. I like where this is going. I'm gonna probably read a little bit tonight before I go to bed. But yeah, it's an interesting little story that's developing in front of my eyes. So my goal is to catch up before the anime or the manga ends, which is supposed to be in a couple years. So I'll see if I can get up to chapter 1000 at some point.
Oh my god, that sounds terrible. That sounds awful. That sounds awful. Yeah, that's not for me. At 1,000 episodes, I'm out. I'm tapping out on that. Not. I'm trying not to end it on a bad note, but not to end it on a negative note. But R.I.P. to Fat Man Scoop, man. 53. I feel like if you're old enough to know who that is, go see a doctor. Get a checkup. Maybe drink a green smoothie here and there. Maybe skip the fast food once a week or do whatever. Try to minimize that intake a little bit because 53 is not that old. It's not old, honestly. Like when I saw his age, I was like, God damn, like that's not like some old man that like lived a long life. Like he's 53. I'm not saying you're in your prime still, but like 53, you're still up and moving around and still, enjoying life, and to just be, gone like that over what sounds like, health issues. It's just kind of like, man, we gotta, prioritize that stuff as you get a little bit older. So RIP to that man.
I mean,
obviously a legend,
but like 2 weeks before that was B King, and he wasn't that old either.
But he was of an age of someone that's old enough to know that he was in his. How old was he? Maybe I don't know how old he was, but I'm assuming he was in his mid-30s.
39.
Yeah, he's at that age where he needs to be. I don't know what happened with him, but
let's see, pulmonary embolism. So
I don't know what that is.
But yes, the sentiment is again, sleep, put the phones down, eat some good food, some vegetables, and water.
Put something green inside you, like either on your plate or in your drinks. like I've seen a couple of them plates on the timeline where it's like, hey, what do you guys think of this plate? I'm like, bro, maybe just one thing, one vegetable, like what? Just one.
And I think that's again American culture, internet culture. Like, oh, and I hate this shit. I hate these type of videos, memes. Oh, I got this big ass. Well, would you eat this? It's a burger with 16 patties.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd let me get 3 of those, and they're
How long
dead
would it take you
serious.
to
Like,
eat
yeah,
these?
yeah, it'd be like 36 McChickens or whatever the shits are called and 60 nuggets. Oh, I can eat this in 15 minutes. I'm like, bro, that's why you're fucking.
Car date me and who? Like you bring 60 nuggets into my car, but fucking kill you. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah,
60.
we gotta do better, man. Like, it's sick out here, man. Like, learn to cook. YouTube is a great tool. You can literally chef up anything healthy on YouTube. Like,
Get an air fryer.
yeah,
Easy.
stay out of McDonald's, stay out of Taco Bell. Get you a cucumber or something like that, and live your life. Put down. You don't need to eat a 64-ounce tomahawk steak like once a week. Like that. The thought of that makes my stomach hurt. Like,
that's great. Once a week, Jesus.
I'm not saying once a week. There's people that are like, oh, I got my T-bone steak, or football season's coming around, hitting the grill, like.
Oh yeah.
Here and there, but that shit
moderation.
That shit is not good for you.
Let's cut them portions in half a little bit during it. So it's a long season, guys. Long season.
Yeah. Yes, this has become the Healthy Washed podcast. But anywho, appreciate y'all tapping in. Who knows if this will ever be uploaded? But subscribe on YouTube. Like, drop a comment. We got a bit of a backlog going at the studio. We need to hire some more people, but it is what it is. We appreciate the support. The ship will even out eventually, but we out here.
The only way to go is up.
We out. Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to King Quest. Shout out to Ben Jackson, Colts fan, Lowski, and shout out to y'all. We out. Peace.